Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness, energy wellness expert, mindset and women's empowerment coach. And I'm here today to give you a little video about your feelings. Feelings are so incredibly powerful, and our feelings are always letting us know if we're in alignment with who we are and what we're doing in that moment, or if we're out of alignment. And so it's so powerful if you can take the time to really get in touch with your feelings instead of doing what we normally do, which is, ignore them, right? We want to escape our feelings. So that's how addictions get started. Simple addictions like being on your cell phone, flipping through Facebook when an uncomfortable feeling comes up, to more extreme addictions like emotional eating, drugs, alcohol, smoking. So anytime we're addicted to something, it's always because there's a pain there, there's a painful feeling that we don't want to feel, so we need something to distract ourselves from it. And I wanted to share a story. I had a client last week that, when doing what I call my emotional empowerment exercise, and I will leave a link below if you would like to learn. This is an exercise that comes from my 12-week Women Empowerment program, and you learn it as part of my 9-month coaching certification program. So you learn how to do it on yourself, and then you're going to learn how to do this on others. So if you would like a link to that, it will be below, and you can go ahead and get that and get a lesson from one of my programs. It is so extremely powerful to go through this program and through this feeling that I can't tell you how much I've grown through dealing with my feelings. I was somebody who very much wanted to escape any kind of negative feeling, and did so with many different kinds of addictions. And so I know this well. I know the power of getting in touch with those feelings, because it's your soul, it's your body, it's everything communicating to you. That is our feelings. So if we can tap into those, it's so amazing. So back to my client. I had a client this week who was doing the emotional empowerment work, and she said she was dealing with the feeling of being unwanted and the feeling of loneliness. So the original core negative feeling was unwanted. She was feeling very unwanted, and we traced this back to childhood. And the feeling of unwantedness turned into a deep loneliness and feeling like she was all alone. So she made a comment during this work where she said, "I hate this feeling. I hate this feeling." And that's so understandable, right? Nobody wants to feel unwanted. Nobody wants to feel lonely. And it's our past, it's our early programming with our parents and caregivers that created these feelings inside of us that are maybe unwanted. And so it's understandable to say that you hate that feeling and you don't want to feel it. I get that. I totally get that. I had a lot of those too. However, if we come at the feeling from a place of resistance and resisting it and saying, I want this to go away, I don't want to feel this way anymore, this needs to stop, that's usually when, right, you pick up that addictive thing, whatever it is. Emotional eating is a big one. It's a big one, especially for women. Stuffing our feelings with food. I don't know if there's anybody immune to that, right? Because we learned as children to eat when you're happy and eat when you're sad. That's a story for another day. Today, I want to focus on, you cannot remove the feeling from a place of resistance. So if I'm hating it, and this goes for anything, because what we resist persists. So if I'm hating this feeling, if I'm like, I don't want to feel this anymore, the feeling's going to keep coming back. On the contrary, if you come at the feeling, number one, feeling it first, letting the feeling process through you. But number two, allowing it to just be with love. Embracing the feeling, and it is another way of saying that, embracing it and understanding that feeling unwanted comes sometimes. Feeling lonely, it happens sometimes. It's part of the human experience to experience many different emotions, both pleasant and quote unquote unpleasant. It's our attachment to and our expectation that we should be feeling a certain way that gets in the way of this. Now, am I saying to sit around in the feeling of unloneliness for days at a time? Absolutely not. That's the other issue, right? We get a choice about how much we're going to let that feeling consume us. The emotional empowerment process can take, 10 minutes or it can take 30 minutes. But it's not about staying in the feeling forever. It's actually about processing through it. So we don't want to avoid our feelings. We want to feel them. And we want to embrace the feelings and understand that all feelings are part of the human experience. And that if something is coming up in me, if I'm feeling a negative emotion, that it's coming up in order to be healed. This is probably something very old from childhood that's coming up in you because there's a part of you that's ready to take care of it and let it go. And this happened to me for so long, and I would keep ignoring the feeling and keep ignoring the feeling. But when I started to embrace those feelings and understand that emotion is just energy in motion. So you can be sitting in the span of 10 minutes and feel many different emotions. We've all had that experience, excitement, super sadness, just kind of an even-keeled feeling, back to excited. Emotions are just energy moving. So it's when I attach to a certain one and say, oh, I got really excited about this, and now I don't have anything to be excited for. I had that expectation that I was always going to be at this level of excitement. And so I don't want to feel this kind of lower level of sadness or just boredom or whatever the feeling is. So number one is to disattach from how you think you're supposed to feel or how you want to feel or how you're expecting to feel, and to let yourself, number two, ride the wave of emotion. Allow things to come up when they come up. Now, most likely you're not just going to have these emotional outbursts unless you're really at the beginning and starting this spiritual work and growth. But for most people, things are just going to come up because of maybe an outside trigger. Your friend says something to you that makes you feel that unwanted feeling or makes you feel very lonely. Your partner, you're in the middle of an argument and he walks away and you start to feel that loneliness come up if that's the issue, or the not good enough or the sadness, right? So is to let the feeling come up because it wants to be healed. That's your little child self saying, hey, I'm not feeling safe here. I need some attention. And what do we normally do, right? Nope, I don't have time for that. I don't want to feel this right now. I don't want to look at this. I'm going to go eat, a carton of ice cream, right? But instead, what if you just paused and let yourself feel the feeling and processed through it and got to the other side of it and at the same time loved that part of you? That's the real advanced step, because often we fraction ourselves off too and we say, I don't love the part of me that gets sad. I don't like the part of me that feels unwanted or lonely. And so we fraction those parts off and we hate those parts, and all they want is to be loved. Think of them as like little needy children. You have all these little needy children and you just need to bring them into your heart and just give them all of your love. So I have a video on the inner child. If you look over all my videos, or if I remember, I will attach that video below. But go back and watch that and get more in touch with your inner child if that's new work for you. But to sum this video up, we have to feel our feelings. They are the feedback system of our soul. So when I'm in alignment, I'm going to feel more calm, more at peace. Things are going to kind of flow. People always talk about that, but it's actually a real thing. It's not just woo-woo. I used to think like, oh yeah, that you're so great. Everything in your life just flows. That's awesome. Good for you. You're just one of the lucky people. But in fact, it's like when you begin to feel those feelings, heal the past and heal these old feelings and start making choices that align with who you are, that is actually a real thing. You do stay in flow. So those are the feelings when we're in alignment with our spirit. When we're not, we're feeling frustrated, we're angry, we are anxious, depressed, feeling not good enough. These are all feelings that are letting us know we're out of alignment. And so you have to find a way to tap into your feelings, feel them as they come up, and embrace them with love. Because what we resist persists. So it'll just keep coming up for you until you're ready to look at it. So if you need any help with this, myself and I have some wonderful coaches as well that work with me, would be happy to help you. You can just leave a comment below or reach out to me in any of my social media links below this video. This is deeper work. It's deeper processing work, but it's highly, highly effective in healing these old wounds and triggers. And I hope you liked this video. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know if there's a strong feeling that you're working on, kind of processing, that keeps showing itself to you. Let's be vulnerable. Share it below and know that there's ways through this and that we're here to help you. Okay? So I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you always get the latest videos, and hit that bell if you liked this. I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.